So a little bit of a different video for you today because it is finally happening. I have been saying for about a year now, that I had something that I really couldn't wait to tell you. And then a lot of twists and turns happened, so I'll tell you the full story in a bit. But essentially, today, we are completing on a house. So the solicitors, we're waiting for them to call us up and say that it's happened, and then we can go and get keys. I'm going to try and get some footage of what is going to be my new yarn room. I will do a full video in due course of setting up my, well, it's not just going to be a yarn room, it's going to be a craft room, so I'll do a full video of setting up my craft room. But for now, I'm just going to basically explain to you this whole saga, show you some clips of where my yarn room's going to be, and yeah, basically explain why over the last few months I have been a little bit absenta. Life is still busy, there's still some other things happening as well, which I'm not going to go into. But one of the big issues that we have been dealing with for about a year now has been the house. So it is so relieving that we're nearly there, and I can't wait to share it with you. So I will be back with some footage in just a minute. So welcome to the craft room. It's not a very big room, as you can maybe see. Looks bigger with stuff in it, but when it's empty it's quite small. Just a little radiator to keep myself warm, and then that all important window for natural lighting. Decorated currently with a little hint from my familial home. These are my childhood curtains. So then over in this corner behind the door we have the first crafty bit. This is where my sewing machine, sewing table, fabrics, cross stitch, that kind of crafting is going to go. There's some plug sockets there for the sewing machine. And then on the opposite side of the room in this corner, kind of the main corner in a way, is going to be my office space. So that's going to be my computer desk, my screens, where I do my video editing. And then of course, as we turn to the all important yarn corner. Here we have my IKEA finest furniture, all set up ready to be populated with yarn. So there's this kind of little corner in the room, this little nook, big enough to put this in. So I've got to challenge myself to keep all my yarn on that shelving. It might stack up on the top of the shelving, knowing me, but yeah, I had furniture just like this in my old place, bursting to the seams with yarn. I've now got to get it all tucked into this corner. There's also a little bit of space in front of it. I'm hoping to film in front of my yarn in the future. Hopefully you'll enjoy that. But I do also have lots of painting, canvases, you know, crafting in the sense of like glue guns and card for card making, that kind of stuff, and they're all kept in these boxes, like stacking boxes, that are going to probably be rolled in the front of this as well. So this is going to be like my yarny, painting-y corner. Yeah, so super excited about that one. Can't wait to organise my yarn on it. I'll be recording a separate video for that. So definitely stay tuned for it. So yeah, that's my future craft room. Hopefully in the video I kind of said like where I was thinking of sticking stuff. I am not doing the yarn room tour in this video. The rest of this video is going to be house stuff. If you want to come back to this channel for the yarn room tour and the yarny content that I'm going to be putting out over the next couple of weeks, then please do. That's absolutely fine. I don't expect you to stick around and hear this house saga, but I just thought I owed it to people who've been with me for a while, just to explain why some of my content has been more sporadic recently. So thank you for sharing in my good news if you are one of those people who has to run off, and I hope you come back for the yarn content soon. And if you are one of those people who has stayed, thank you. Um, I am so happy to have shared this house news with you at last. It has been about a year since I first mentioned it on this channel, and the reason it has been a year is because this, roughly speaking, this time last year we decided to start looking for a house, and we weren't initially thinking really seriously. We just were thinking, let's see what's on the market, let's see what we can afford, and of course it was typical that we found somewhere that we liked. And it was this extended 70s build, so there was a lot of space for the money that they were asking. We went to the house, we saw it, it was really well looked after, and so even though there would be maintenance that would come with a 70s build, we felt in a comfortable position to afford it, and so we put the offer in and got it accepted. And that's when all the trouble started. Because actually about a month later, so really getting close to Christmas by that point, we had surveys come back saying that the house was being overpriced and it was being devalued by a significant sum of money, like comparable to the deposit, in terms of price, and we didn't have that sort of money. The whole thing fell through. We decided over Christmas that we were not going to keep looking over Christmas. We were just going to come to terms with this, essentially grieve, because we'd gotten quite excited about it, and we sort of ended up reflecting a lot on the experience, so that when we came back to things in January, we were in what we felt like was a better headspace to deal with it all, ironically enough, and this. We very much believe that this all happened for a reason, because actually then when we went and looked again in January and we found the second house that we looked at, we had realised, this second house being in a different location to the first, that even though there was nothing inherently wrong with the location of the first house, actually we did prefer the location of the second a lot better. So we started again. Found a house in this location. The house was again also very well looked after, a bit smaller in terms of total space because it was a newer build by comparison, but the rooms that it did have were a bit bigger, and we, having been through this phase of reflection, we realised that this new house would also meet our needs, put the offer in, got the ball rolling, and we had found ourselves at the bottom of a yet to exist chain of house buying. So for those who are not in the UK, the UK way of house buying is that you agree to buy a house and the person that you're buying off of agrees to buy a house, and at some point the house at the top of the chain is an empty house that can be moved into straight away, and people move. They sign all their paperwork and they move all on the same day. This chain purchases those houses together. So we are dependent on the chain in the UK, and we were at the bottom of the chain, and when this chain formed, it ended up being 4 people, 4 different houses, which is quite a big chain. Can you think logistically trying to arrange the legalities around buying 4 houses on the same day? As you can imagine, that did not go well. So over the last few months, there have been a roller coaster of getting the chain formed in the first place within the time frame of our mortgage offer, which lasts for 6 months in the UK. Fun fact, it didn't. So our mortgage offer expired. We had to negotiate reapplying for that in a very economically unstable time. We had issues with the sale of a house up the chain falling through, and that's possibly impacting everything that what they obviously overcome because we're here now, but we have just been through this roller coaster of things happening, and there's other stuff I haven't even touched on because I don't think it would be fair to touch on it, but it's not been easy. It's not been easy, and I can laugh about it now because obviously if I'm showing you this video I have keys, so I'm happy now, but this has been the longest week of our life, because in the run-up to completion, in the run-up to exchange, we were supposed to exchange at the start of a week and complete at the end of it. In the run-up to that, it turned out that there was some paperwork that wasn't finished, and so the longest week of our life waiting for this paperwork to be done, and credit to the solicitors and I can say that now because we're at the end of it, you know, they did get it done in a week. That's pretty significant to have got hold of this paperwork and get it sorted in a week. But it has been the longest week of our life waiting for that to be done, and going from having, you know, thoughts of exchanging contracts, so the paperwork being done at the start of the week, to it didn't get done in the middle and wasn't done as of yesterday, you know, basically moving to an exchange happening on the same day as completion, which isn't uncommon, but expectation wise was a strain. Yeah, it's been tough. So that's why, or that's a glimpse into why things have been very difficult in terms of getting content out on this channel. I've given up on hiding the sofa next to me. We have been living around boxes and furniture for a few months now, well, several months now, because we expected originally to be moved by summer, and obviously that didn't happen. So yes, we are at the stage where we started prepping for that, and didn't happen. So it's been a very stressful few months. On top of everything else, I am someone who very much gets stressed out by clutter around me, so I have not had the space to breathe and to de-stress from any of this. So looking forward to that. If you're watching this video, then we have already been to the house, and we have started to do those little bits of maintenance that need to be done when you move into a house, like putting curtains up and cleaning things, that kind of thing. So we will be very tired when this video comes out. We'll have had quite a busy time cleaning and packing and moving and unpacking, but I am also kind of looking forward to the unpacking because of making my craft room, and because of, you know, that final breath when everything is unpacked and in its place, and then taking all those cardboard boxes that have been stressing me out for the last several months and destroying them and then throwing them in the recycling because, you know, environment, but destroying them first. I'm very excited for that, can you tell? So yes, there is going to be more yarny content on this channel, as I said earlier. Coming up, there's going to be the yarn room tour. Thank you so much for bearing with me through this very difficult time. So glad to have you here. I'm so glad to finally share this with you, because I was excited about a new house and a craft room, and I know that all you crafty peeps out there love a good yarn room tour, so I'm so excited to be able to share that with you. I just can't wait. So if you did stick around for this part of the video, thank you so much, and I can't wait to get making videos again for you on this channel, so stick around for those. Thank you again, and I'll see you in another video. Bye for now.